Yeah, hello all. Welcome to the session. So let me share my screen. Can you guys hear me? Please confirm in the chat. And let's wait for a couple of more minutes. And we'll start the session. Did anyone face any issue while setting up your lab? Please do let me know, and we will fix that. Okay. Yeah, Hanuma. So you can unmute yourself.
Hello, Karthik.
Yeah, Hanuma.
Yeah, actually, yesterday I was not able to attend the class. Uh,
Uh-huh.
can you please help me on that? How to set the lab once this class is over?
Sure. So you can go through the recording of yesterday's session, but yeah, no problem. I will guide you. So once the session is over, so please drop an email to me. So just a sec. Let me send the email ID in the chat. It is also in the previous slides. So yeah. Yeah, Olale, actually, I will be showing you how to register for the key. So yeah, I will guide you, Harma. Don't worry. Okay?
Yeah, thank you, Karthik.
Yeah. And today would be the last day for the demo session, guys. So for the people who didn't join the course, like in upcoming session, like on Monday, it will be only for the paid candidates. Okay, so please do join it, with this link, or you can even go to the like logiclabstech.com and go to courses, and the first one would be this one. Yeah. And if you are like, if you don't have the time or you can't be available in the scheduled time, so you can opt for self-paced recording. So it will be the same actually, but it is already recorded and you will get the support as well. So don't worry that, okay, only recording will be done. So you can drop an email to me, like if you're stuck somewhere, yeah, you will be assisted. So for this batch 161, this is my previous batch. So that recording will be available to you. So it is around 23 hours, I guess. So total uh, like recordings. Yeah, the last day would be like a huge one. But yeah, so you can opt for if you don't have this scheduled time, like from 8 to 9 IST, if you don't have, so please do opt for this one. Okay, so let me send the link to that as well. Okay, so first thing, let's see how to register the key. So once it is asking for the key, please do enter this key. So again, go to the, let me close this and go bit.ly/linux_ll. Okay, so this is the link. So once you type that, and please do bookmark this link or note it somewhere, guys, because this link won't be changed and it has never been changed for quite some time. And anything related to the session, it will be uploaded here. Okay, and the next one is the key, right? So just go here to ISO and VMware directory, double click this key. So there is a separate file called as VMware workstation key. So you can copy and paste this key wherever it is asking. And this is the like if you closed when it asked, so you can like go to help and enter a license key. You can type it here and click OK. Okay, so in my case, mine is a different version, so it is giving that error. But in your case, it would be fine. Okay, so that is the thing. Actually, it is just a sec. It copied along with the link, I guess. Yeah, so now it should be fine. So go to help, enter license key. Yes, that's it. So again, if you want to verify, go to about VMware workstation. You can see no expiration. So your license won't expire whatsoever. again and again you can use the same key. So it is a, how to say, it is a like lifetime key, you can call it as, right? So that's the, so once you register, this would be the home screen, right? So yesterday we created this VM. So always have a habit of suspending the VM. So don't stop. So you can stop, it's your choice, but there is no need of stopping the VM because it is just like a hibernation, right? So you can suspend your VM. So click on resume this virtual machine. Sorry, resume this virtual machine, and so while it is, so once we do this setup and we will go back to the cloud. So today we'll see how to set up in the cloud as well as file systems and all we'll be seeing today. Okay. So first thing, once you see this lock screen, you need to click on not listed. Okay. And type root as the username and password is 1234. This is what I typed. So root is a user who is an admin. Okay, so that is the privileged user, or you can call it as. So this root user is the one you or the only user who has all the permission in the system. Okay, and the password is 1234. And in my case, it is 1234. In your case, you can keep whatever password, but please note down the password. So many have a habit of forgetting the password. So you can reset the root password, but we will see that as well, right? So go to activities. So you can ignore all the pop-up window and go to activities and click this terminal. So as of now, it will be localhost, right? So we need to change the host name. So how to change the host name? Sorry, host name. So as of now, it is localhost. So now we have a command or a binary called as host name CTL, and we need to give a option called as set host name to whatever we want. So we will do that. So before that, we have a command called as if config. Yeah, -a. Again, you might have seen like I didn't completed the command. So you see here, I'm pressing tab. So if you press tab, double tab. So like press your tab twice and you will be autofilled. So that is, please do have a habit of using this double tab so that it will autofill, or if it didn't autofill also, it will give a suggestion. Okay, you want to run this command ifcfg or if config. So whatever command starts with that, it will be uh, like giving a suggestion. So if you typed another, like I typed O, right? So it will autofill. Okay, so and this hyphen A is an option, by the way. So we'll see what is a command and its respective options later. So this is the first. So these are all called as network interface cards. Okay, so it is NIC, network interface card. So why we need this NIC is, so obviously we can work in this terminal only, but we will take a remote session. So this is a console view, by the way. So only I have access to this console view, right? Or this particular UI. So, but I need like to access in a remote session or remote connection. So how would you do that? Right? So with, along with the IP or the help with the, sorry, help of this IP, we can do that. So just note down your IP somewhere, and we need to download another software which is also included with this directory, ISO and VMware. So this is the Kitty. So you might have heard Putty, right? So this one. So, yeah. So this is a famous one, and there is a lot of iteration of the same tool. So this is nothing but a remote connection tool. with the help of SSH, or it is called as SSH client. So what is SSH? We will see once we downloaded that. So you can either use Putty or you can use Kitty. So this is a fork of that one. Uh, why we are using this one is this is a like how to say, having some more features. So we will see those as well. So why we need to set up this one as a like again like we need to access the same server remotely. Okay, so that's the thing. This is the one, right? So the same screen only you will be, or same options only will be there. Here it will be much more options you have. And now you see you have connection type as SSH, and you see a random number called as 22. So what is that? So first thing is, what is SSH? So once we see that and we configure this profile, we will yeah, so we will see the cloud, how to set up in the cloud. So this is for the local setup or local virtual machine. So that's the one. So what is SSH is secure shell, right? So secure shell is a like how to say, that is a service, by the way. So service are nothing but, as I told yesterday, this background service or process which is running in your Windows processes. Like it is in the background. These are all the applications in the foreground, right? So whatever you see in this apps, this is a foreground applications or service. These are all background services. So now, like that, in your Linux, you have SSH. So using that, y- yeah, from the link you sent, obviously you can download it. So yeah, so SSH, with that and the help of SSH, you have a port called as 22. So SSH port is 22, and what is port will come later session. So, but like using that port only, you will communicate to the system. So if you see here, um, ports actually, we will see that. Okay, so I will show you what are all ports, and so you even have RDP. So, uh, yeah, remote desktop. So this is where you will, uh, this is how you will connect your. You just type MSTSC, enter. I just go to start and type MSTSC. So what this tool is, this is called as remote desktop connection. And so you might ask, okay, using this itself we can use. This is for your Windows servers, or you're going to access remote Windows desktop, right? So this is the tool, and this is an inbuilt tool, by the way, and bundled with your Windows. And there are many ports. For HTTP it is 80, HTTPS it is 443. So what are all these ports we'll see extensively while we see the firewall and all. But as of now, this process needs or will be running in port 22, right? So now coming back to the Kitty configuration. So the first thing is you need to type your host name or your IP. So before that, you just right click your Kitty session and pin to this taskbar. So in my case, I already pinned it. So click on this pin. Okay. So now you just type this IP. So paste it and don't right away open it. So we need to save this session or this profile. So you can type whatever you want. So we can type rel, and you need to enable all this, or if you need only, you can enable it. So let's go one by one. Okay. So the first thing is, if you want to enable logging, like whatever you type in the Kitty session, right? So it will be logged and saved in a different path. So you just click this second radio button and give a name to it. So Kitty ampersand. So along every day, the date and time. Sorry, date, month, and time. So along with that, it will be saved and go to terminal. So this is fine. So yeah, if you don't want this bell, so I personally don't want that bell sound every time. So if you like press double tab, like if you do a double tab, right? So if it didn't found, so it will give a bell sound. So that is very annoying one. So you can click none here to disable that. And this window is a very important. So what is this window? So this lines of scroll back. So let's say you are doing a like you're uh, connected to the session for at least 3 to 4 hours using the same kitty session. The lines will be piled up, right? So if you're working like like huge logs or something, it will be piled up. So always use a huge number. So it is 2 billion, I guess. So just give a huge number here, right? And your appearance, if you want to change the font size, you can do it here. And change the font color also, you can do it here, right? So 0 to 55. So I want the font to be in green color and the connection. So the connection time, so every 30 seconds, it will send a null packet to the city session. Okay. And go to the data and type the user ID, root, and the password to it. So 1234. And so like, we don't have a private key. So this is a password based authentication. So we will do this option for our like cloud authentication in another moment. So yeah, so just type root and the password, and you can even bootstrap a command. So whatever command, let's say you're giving date here. So every time you're opening a session, this date command will be running in the first thing. Okay, so let's try that. And after doing everything, come back to session and save it. So now this profile is saved or the session is saved, and you just double click that, right? So you will see this dialog box. So this is nothing but a fingerprint of your key, sorry, fingerprint session, it is called as. So we will see this one so extensively in later session. But as of now, the system did identify a foreign connection, or like this is a new connection to a different server for our base mission, right? So that's what, whether this is like you recognize this one, right? So you have no guarantee that you think it is. So yeah, do you trust this one? So just give accept. And since we gave the roots user ID and password in that session, so it will be saved, or in that profile it will be saved, and it will be autofilled, right? So you see send automatic password, and once it is logged in, you see the bootstrap command. So I gave date command, so it did ran the date command and gave the date and time. So yeah, now we did configure the kitty session for that same mission. So this mission, we are going to access it only via this tool, right? So why, you might ask? So mostly we will do the same in your production servers, and this console view you don't have access for in your production servers and all, right? So that only the field engineer or in the data center, that person only will have access to it. Or if it is a physical server, you can launch this remote session via like HP ILO or those kind of console view. So HP ILO, you can, let me show you the image. So these are all the options. So this is a different topic, but yeah, you see here, remote support or remote console. So you can click on this and it will open in this view. So along with this option, so you can reboot there. So almost the same options it will be, right? So that's the thing, but it is a physical server. This is a virtual machine, right? So both are different. And as I told, you need to change the host name. So host name, CTL. So this is a command, by the way, and this is the option. So set hyphen host name. So what is a host name? So Logic Labs dot local domain. So since we don't own a domain as of now, we will give dot local domain. Enter. And now still it is same. So you need to right click, go to this tab and right click and click on duplicate session. And close this previous one. Again, if you want to zoom, so since you are logged in your laptop, right? So you can do how to say pinch. The pinch gesture, it will be used to zoom your session. Yeah. So this is the command. So in my case, I gave logic lab, so you can do whatever you want, but end it with dot local domain. Why? Because if you can skip that, but if you type host name, like the domain name is a must, or it is called as fully qualified domain name, FQDN. So this will be useful for for our key exchange. So fully qualified domain, right? So that's the thing, and yeah. So as of now, we set up the local server. So please don't delete that session, and you can even bookmark that specific session. So just right click and do a pin here so that easily you can right click and launch it. Just click here. It will open a new session. That's it. So you need not enter a password also. And if you configured for user one, right? So let me let's show you that. So you need to do a thing called as SU, or that is the first command you need to learn, which is switch user. SU or commands. So whatever commands we are discussing every day, I'll give it as like here. SU is called as switch user. So what does that mean is, so if you want to switch the shell from root user to user one, or vice versa, any user you want, you can do. So let's say you configured for user one instead of root. So don't worry that, okay, I need to switch to root. So how would you do that is SU hyphen. So switch user hyphen means that user's home path. So we will discuss that and type the password of that user, root user. So 1234, enter. So now we are logged in as root user. Okay. And now, yeah, this is the first command, right? So SU hyphen, that user name. So if you don't give anything, it will be by default take it as root user. So you see here, I didn't mention any username here. So it did default to root user. So now let's see how to set up the same mission in your cloud. So these are all the links. So aws.amazon.com, and you see here we have free tier option. Right. So it would have been mentioned somewhere here. So fine. So you just let me sign into my account and show you the console view. Right. So again, so the you just need to select the root user in while you signing up, or while you sign into your machine, always use the root user. Don't use the IAM user. So only if you set up that, you need to use this one. Okay. So, and if you still don't have any Amazon account, so please do create. Or if you already use an Amazon account, so you can log in with that, right? So yeah, let me log in mine and let me share the screen. Yeah. So this is the console, the dashboard of your AWS, right? So, and don't be overwhelmed about how many options and tools are here. So just we going to use EC2. So what is EC2 is AWS EC2. It is Elastic Compute Cloud. So each, okay, now you might think AWS and GCP are different, or any cloud like AWS or Azure is different. Obviously, no. So every cloud service providers are, the base premise is same. So only the how they're approaching or naming it is the different one, but the cost also, right? So at the end, you're going to access a server which is residing in some data center. So in this case, the data center is in North Virginia, right? So that's the thing. But yeah, so you need not even change the location. So obviously the latency won't be huge difference. So you can, it's your choice, but it's fine. You can use the same default one as well. So, or you can change your whatever location you want, you can change it. Right. So in your AWS, it is EC2. So in your GCP, it is called as compute engine. So don't worry too much about the naming scheme, but the premise is you're going to launch a VM. That's it. Okay. And yeah, it is compute engine and called as VM instance. So just in your global search, you just type EC2, or you can go to services, compute, EC2. So this is uh, yeah, you can use either way and launch the EC2 dashboard. So you'll see that dashboard, and don't toggle this one, right? So yeah, this is the dashboard. So click on this orange button, launch instances. And here you have AMI. So what is an AMI is Amazon Mission Image. So that is nothing but your ISO, but in the Amazon's like Amazon Marketplace. Okay, so now you need to name or some give something. So just type rel or some, any you can give your choice, whatever name you want, and you have the Linux or Amazon's own version of Linux. So this is a very bare minimum one. So we don't use that. We do have Red Hat official one as well, and it is also free tier eligible. Again, we must confirm that it is a free tier eligible. You can see here in your first year includes 750 hours of this one, right? So again, it is 750 hours for your whole year. So don't think that like it, you should not exhaust that. And yeah, so but we won't exhaust it, so you can stop and it won't be calculating that. So this is only for a live session, and for each month it will renew, right? So per month it is calculated. So that's what. So most people can't exhaust this one, but again, so if you forgot to terminate or stop your instance, this will be elapsed and your cost will be incurred in your card. So don't do that. And yeah, just select this red hat, and it can be rel 9 also, and that is fine. So no issues. And it is a SSD one, the storages. And scroll down. So don't worry about this architecture. It is 64-bit is the default one. And instance type, so T2 micro is fine. So we have one vCPU. So if you see here, it is one vCPU is nothing but virtual CPU and 1 GB of memory. So it is enough. So 1 GB memory is a bit less, by the way, but it is fine, right? So anyhow, it is a free instance, right? So the next one is your key pair. So this is where your password-based authentication, which we done just now, like this password-based authentication, and there are two ways of authentication: password and passwordless, or it is called as key-based authentication. So what does that mean? So password, obviously, you guys know you need to enter a password to enter to that session or to that user's profile. But this key-based authentication does involve a, or it is one of the safest one, I would say. So what is that? So you have key-based in the sense you have private and public key. Okay, so what is this private and public key? You'll see in later session again. So we will take baby steps. Okay, so I can explain now also, but you guys won't. So we will see the permissions and lot of stuff. So we will see extensively a dedicated session for key based. But basic idea how it works is, so your private and public key will be residing in your this server. So the server is hosted in North Virginia, right? So it will be residing there, and you will be downloading a public key, right? So .ppk file, putty public key, or it will be called as ppk is a putty private key. But the thing is that yeah, we will see that. So that key I will just cat or open that key and show you. So first thing, you just create a key, right? So and there are different types of key pair. So this two is a key pair. Without that, so let's say you have only public key and the private key you lost or you removed it, unfortunately, then there is no sense of this public key. You can't recreate it. Obviously you can, but again you need to configure it, right? So mostly you need to like it will be working as a key pair, and there are different types of key pair. So that is what this RSA is. So that is a like a kind of market standard RSA, right? So you just type the key name whatever you want. So let me type rel 2023 or something. You can type whatever you want, and you have two options here. So dot pem dot ppk. So what is this dot pem? So dot pem is used only for, or you can even generate a dot ppk key using dot pem file. So, but we don't use that. So you just go, you can call like log into the same VM using your command prompt. For that, you can use dot pem. You can see for use with OpenSSH. So this is the one. So with the help of SSH or this OpenSSH, you can use it. So we don't use the command prompt, right? So we will select .ppk and create a key pair. So now it will be downloading a .ppk file, and let me open it in the notepad. So you see here, this is the key. It will be a random generated words and numbers and symbols, but this is the public key and this is the private key. So both will be bundled, and like this, don't show this key to everyone. So that is the thing. So anyhow, I'll terminate this instance, but like that's what you need to keep this file only to yourself. So or don't share this to anyone because they can simply access this mission with the help of this key, right? So that's the thing. And you see here SSH-RSA. So which key pair type we are going to use and which like which way it is SSH, obviously, since it is a Linux mission. So that's what. What is the name of the file? It is rel 2023. And how many lines? So this line count is not needed. Anyhow, we will generate our own private and public key in our local mission. Sorry, this mission, and we'll see extensively. Okay, so yeah. So moving on, and please don't delete that file, guys. So don't delete this .ppk. So because it is again hard for you to, or you need to again create a new instance. So you can't. So again, you can't generate a key. So you need to go here, key pairs, and you can't attach that key to that same existing VM, right? So that is an issue. So yeah, again you need to terminate and create from the first. So please keep this key handy. And don't worry about this network setting. So this is the firewall or whatever you can see here, allow SSH traffic, and you can see it is selected anywhere. And you don't see any IP. 0.0 means anything is allowed in this server. And so the next thing is here, how much size you want. It is 10 gigs, so that is enough. So anyhow, we have 30 gigs, but you just reserve that remaining 20 gigs for your disk management. So you need to work on your disk management, right? So that 20 gigs is enough for that. And this 10 gigs is fine. So no problem. And this is a summary of whatever you done. And please note that this information or this not warning. So this info panel, you must see. So without this, your ID is not a free tier eligible if you don't see this. So please do create a new ID and you can configure the same credit card, no issues. But it should be free, right? So, or you must see this dialog box or this info panel. So click on launch. So let it launch. Yeah. So AWS will be way faster compared to your GCP, right? So because they've been in the game for so long. So yeah, they do optimize their system a lot. And GCP entered around 2016. So that's what. Just wait for 10 seconds and it should be up. Yeah. So if you see here instance status running, so we are good. The mission is started and you can connect to this mission via the DNS or your IP. So either way you can connect or you can select this connect panel. Oh, sorry, connect button. So you can see it will guide you how to connect to the mission. So you see here, it is showing you how to connect via PEM. So not in a kitty. So for kitty, it is a different way. So this is the profile. You need to again create a profile. So just copy the host name. So let me come back to the instance. So copy the public IPv4 address. Don't do the private. It won't connect. Copy the public one. Click this box. It will be automatically copying and save it. Just save it as AWS or something. And same SSH. You can do all these things as same one. Window. You can give a huge number. If you want to change the color, you can. And yeah, here also you can give 30 seconds. So in data, you just give EC2 user. So this is the default user. And now is an important part. So in our previous one, we did gave only the password, right? So here you need to give or authenticate using the private key. So this .ppk file you need to browse and select it. So this one. Okay, so this is the path. You can like store it anywhere, but don't delete it. That's the key uh, part, right? So come back to session and save it and double click. Again, you will see this dialog box. So if you see this one, like the system can communicate to the AWS machine. So if it like you don't see this dialog box, then there is a communication issue or it will throw that error. So you need to check your whether the server is up first thing or your IP there is a typo or some issue would be there, right? So it can't come if it can't communicate some issue with your VM. So again you can create it or like it can't authenticate with the key which you provided. So some any issue it might be. So you see here authenticating with the public key rel 2023 and this is the user EC2 hyphen user default user, right? And we are into the server. So this is the AWS server. So the first name you need to do host name you can type and this is the host name of that server. We can even do the host name CTL as well. So that is fine. So set host name. We can do logic labs local domain. So even though we have a DNS, we can do that. But you see here, since it is a easy to user, we need to type the root user ID and password. So here is where you need to switch to that root user, right? So again, now you have a different command. So previously we saw su, right? So now you have sudo su hyphen root. So this command is applicable or it is the same command, but it is called a sudo access. So sudo hyphen m. So this is a different concept. So we will see this concept by the way. But instead of su hyphen only, you need to do sudo su hyphen root. So why? Because so let's do su hyphen. So it will ask for the password. But if I do sudo su hyphen root, you see it skipped the password. Why? Because this user has a root access or this guy can do whatever the root can do. And this root user, he can even switch to a root user without even asking for a password. That is what this line means, right? So, or he can do whatever he want or this user want, right? So that is the thing. So yeah, this is how you will switch to the root user, sudo sv hyphen root. And now you can do the same hostname command or any command you can do, right? So that is the thing. But dot local domain, I'm not sure whether it should take, but let's see. So this is how you do the AWS, right? So once you are done with your AWS instance, please do stop that instance, right? So that is the very, very important one. So yeah. And now any doubts, guys? Like it is very straightforward. So I did explain everything. So that's the reason it took so long. It will be just not even 5 minutes it will take for you to start a session, start a instance in your AWS, right? So the same thing goes for your GCP, but there's few options it will be differing. So again, your GCP is offering you. So this is the only command you need to do for both. Let me give it here as well. Switch to root without typing root password. So again, don't try this with your local machine. It won't work. Okay, so if you try with this user ID, see, it won't work. It will ask for the password. So that's what. So here it is already configured in your AWS. So that's the reason it did work, right? So we'll see that what is sudo, and it is a very important command. So coming back to our GCP, so this is the link cloud.google.com. And the good thing about GCP is you can experiment much more tools, and it is like they are giving a credit of $300, which roughly translate to 28 29K INR, right? So $300. So that's what they're giving for free, right? So and with the help of that, you can even spin up a huge server. So with like a CPU of 64 cores also you can start, and RAM is of 128 gigs. So you can even experiment that, but there is no performance wise you can't see a huge difference. But anyhow, we will be doing a basic tasks only, right? But you can just for like how it would be, so we can launch it. So just go to this link, by the way, and create your Google ID. So obviously everyone would have at least one Google ID, right? So if you don't have, you can create your own ID just for your GCP, and you need to log in. So once you're logged in and click on go to console, it will ask for the billing. So you need to type oh sorry, you need to give your credit card. And one issue with GCP credit card is only Mastercard and Visa is allowed, right? So that is the thing. And sorry, I'm not sure. Visa, only Visa it used to allow. Not sure. So please do check. RuPay it will be denying, guys. So RuPay cards, I'm not sure why, but RuPay gateway is it is denying. So try Visa cards first, and if it is accepting, it's fine. But anyhow, like you won't pay anything, so don't worry about that. It will cost, right? So don't worry, you won't pay a penny. So that's what. So click on go to console and let me log in mine, and just a second. There, yeah. So I did logged in, and this is the dashboard of your GCP, and it will be bit cluttered, right? So not as easy, or it won't be right straightforward like your what is that, AWS. But here one good thing is everything will be like called as a project. So in a hierarchy, everything comes under this project. So you can create a new project if you want it to be shared with your friend or something. So you can. So this is the first thing. So everything will be coming under a project. By default, it will create a project on your behalf, right? And it will give a number to it. And yeah, so you can use the global search to search for your VM, or you can do it here. But one issue here is if you pin also, sometimes it won't pin right away. So yeah, so click on VM instance. So here it will ask you to enable API. So that is not a issue. So you can enable it. So here everything is a API. Okay. And yeah, so this is the VM creation. Like this is the dashboard for your VM. So click on create instance. So every UI will be in a material view. That UI would be. So, and this is what I was telling, right? So you can select whatever you want, and yeah, it is a good thing, right? So you can select, let's say, computer optimized. You see, from 4 to 60, it can scale it up. right? So that is the thing. And from 16 gigs to 240 gigs also you can run. You see here, H3 if you use, it will be here it is evaluating how much cost it will be costing you for the month. So you see here, it is around $3,500 per month. It is right. So, but it is one of very powerful system, right? So 88 CPU cores and the memory is of 32 gigs, right? So that's what you can just run. And yeah, anyhow, $300 is there, right? So you can do that, but don't run this one. H series you can ignore. So you can, or you can use C2 or E2. So these kind of low cost machines you can use. So you can see here, for the whole month it will be $25, right? So $25, it will be deducted from your $300 value. So it will be roughly, and that $300 also has an evaluation period of 90 days. So again, it won't be lasting for your whole year, just 90 days. So you can use any one or other instance as well. So anyhow, you have $300, right? So you can use N series as well. So this is also fine. So 2 vCPU and 8 gigs of memory. You're getting what I'm like explaining, right? So anyhow, it will be deducted from your free tier eligible one. So in my case, I exhausted mine. So that's the reason I'm not seeing that dialog box. So here I will see that free tier eligible dialog box, right? So yeah, mine is exhausted. So you can either use E2 or N2. So it's your choice. And scroll down. So in N2, it is 2 cores, 2 vCPU, and memory is of 8 gigs. 2 vCPU and 8 GB of memory. So this is for your N2. So yeah, and you can yeah, you don't need to enable all this. So this, just scroll to this boot disk, click on change, and by default it will select the Debian operating system. So just scroll down and you see Red Hat. So here you do have even 7. So we can launch RHEL 9 also, no issues. And you must select this radio one to be compatible. 86, 64. Fine. So let's select RHEL 8. So it is an ARM processor. So you see here, ARM architecture. So okay, here it is, right? So fine. 86, 64. So pay as you go. So yeah, 20 gigs. So here you do have no limitation over the size, so you can give whatever you want. But for a storage, you will pay a small amount. It won't be huge. Like how I can put, like $1 or $2 maximum per month. So yeah, but again, so if you are using less storage, it will be costing you less, right? So click on select, and you will be seeing that free tier eligible here. That dialog box, you will see it here, and here you see here, like it is 102 USD, but we have $300 USD, right? So you can click on create. So in my case, it is exhausted, guys. So free tier is exhausted, and yeah. So anyhow, I'll terminate this instance once the session is over, but you don't terminate your session, right? So please do stop your sessions if you're not using. So just go to instance state and stop instance. That's it. So instant is up. Okay, super. It's way faster than AWS. That's good thing. And one another major advantage of using GCP is you need not even worry about Kitty, right? So or the key configuration and all. Just open a cloud shell. So what does this mean is SSH in browser. It is a browser-based Kitty actually. So you see here transferring SSH key and authorize. Let me pause. Yeah. Okay. So now this is a shared account. So let me do sudo su hyphen root. Same ID. Sorry, same command. So now I am into this server, right? So now you can do whatever you want and everything will be in cloud. So you can, how to say, like same option. So you can do whatever you want and you can change the username or that's whatever you want, you can do it here itself. So you need not even need to download or configure Kitty, right? So that's the advantage of GCP and it is of 90 days, which is more time or sufficient time for you to practice your Linux or for your RHCSA exam, right? So that's what we done for the day. So we did set up the mission and yeah, any doubts? Anyone like how to set up the mission? So Hanuma, you just so like if you how to say you just downloaded the ISO Hanuma like if not
Yes, Karthik, I have downloaded
okay
it already
perfect
in first thing.
perfect so then yeah good so yeah so once okay session is already over so yeah we will see like, you just drop an email to me Hanuma so we'll connect okay so yeah
Okay, Karthik.
and again for the people okay yeah Sandeep. Let me unmute you. Yes, Sandeep, you are unmuted. And today would be the last demo session, guys. So we will be starting our like like what is shell and everything in the upcoming sessions. And even this, I thought I would complete or explain this file systems, but it would take some time. So sure, Olale. So you just drop an email to me. We will connect. Okay. So yeah. So, is there any doubts? If not, we can wind up the session. So, Sandeep, I guess we can't hear you, so you can also drop an email to me. Okay, so yeah, but you're unmuted, but we can't hear you, Sandeep. Can you send in chat? What is your query? Yeah, obviously you can watch the recording. So recording on day-to-day notes, everything will be shared with you. And if you're still facing issue or any doubts, don't like feel free to ask any doubts. So don't worry that this is a silly doubt and all. So anytime we will help you, right? So yeah, the recording will be shared uh, like in the WhatsApp group. So if you're still not part of the WhatsApp group, please do join the group. So that group link also I will be sending with this today's notes, right? So okay, so Sandeep, okay, yesterday's recording, right? So you need to be part of this WhatsApp group. So I guess, yeah, one second. Let me open the slide. Okay. Yeah. So go to this link. Let me send this link in the chat. So any communication will be shared with the WhatsApp group only, right? So yeah, click on join chat, and yeah, if you're logged in with your WhatsApp, it will be logged in, or it will ask you for the QR code. So once you're logged in, yeah, you will be part of that group. So any communication related to the group, or whatever, you can ask in the. So you don't have permission to ask. So you need to reach out to the group admin, like if you're having payment issue or any issue with the class. So you can reach out to them. And if you want to reach out to me any regarding any doubts, so you can drop an email to me. So this is my mail ID. So Karthik@Logic Labs Tech. You can reach out to me here. Okay, so that's what. And Monday, the link will be shared with you guys. Okay, so the link will be changed, and only for the paid candidates, the link will be shared. So yeah. So once our sessions are over, within 20 days, you can like you can appear for your RHCSA exam. So that's the so we'll be focusing on our REL 6, RHCSA exam, right? So that's the thing. And as well as your practical knowledge means whatever we are doing in a day-to-day basis as a sysadmin or as a platform engineer, we will be performing. And we will see a monitoring tool as well. So someone asked actually. So yeah, we will see that like new relic we will be seeing guys in upcoming session. So yeah, there is no session on the weekends. So let's see on Monday, guys. So thanks all then. Have a great weekend. Thanks all. Bye bye.